All right, so political violence coming from the left has now become a major issue in this country. Take a look at this poll. This is Quinnipiac. 79% of Americans think the U.S. is in the midst of a political crisis. That's how dangerous it's gotten. That's how ridiculous the narrative has gotten. That's how dangerous the country feels right now politically. The most recent far left-driven act of violence at that Dallas ICE facility yesterday, 29-year-old Joshua John opening fire from that rooftop right there, ended up shooting 3 migrants. This leftist shot 3 migrants in a completely botched last act of idiocy before he blew his brains out. And new details have emerged on the motives behind his attack. Take a listen.
He called the ICE employees people showing up to collect a dirty paycheck. He wrote that he intended to maximize lethality against ICE personnel and to maximize property damage at the facility.
He ended up shooting, as I said, 3 migrants, killing 1, putting 2 others in critical condition. Didn't hit anybody that actually works for ICE. John was also seen early in the morning with a large ladder, which he used to climb to the top of the building he shot from. He waited there for hours before opening fire. He had all that time to plan it, and yet he did so poorly at what he was trying to do. The FBI Director Kash Patel revealing authorities found that John downloaded a document containing a list of DHS facilities. He had multiple searches online of ballistics and also the Charlie Kirk shot video he had looked at on Monday and Tuesday before he did this. In August, he used apps that tracked the presence of ICE agents and had one of them had handwritten notes recovered that were recovered from him read, "Hopefully this will get ICE agents real terror to think, is there a sniper with rounds on that roof?" He also frequented those strange gaming sites and chat rooms, similar to those of Charlie Kirk's assassin, like 4chan and Steam. Trump today reacting. Take a listen.
Radical left rhetoric. The radical left is causing the problem. We're looking at the funders of a lot of these groups. These are anarchists and agitators, professional anarchists and agitators, and they get hired by wealthy people, some of whom I know. Well, Soros is a name certainly that I keep hearing. I don't know, but Soros is a name that I hear. I hear a lot of different names. I hear names of some pretty rich people that are radical left people. Maybe I hear about a guy named Reid Hoffman.
Sebastian Gorka handles counterterrorism for the White House and joins us now. And, sir, it's good to have you back on. That number from Quinnipiac, I mean, this has got a lot of people very nervous now. There's a lot of bullets flying, and they're all coming from one direction.
You're absolutely right, Rob. And this time it's getting a little bit personal for me. I was in the office of a very senior colleague in the administration just this morning, and she informed me that she has now had to have been given a personal security detail because of the threats on her life and her family's life. This is an individual who's never harmed anyone. This is a woman who should be allowed to do her job for a man elected by almost 80 million Americans. And now she has to ride with a personal security detail every single day. And here's the rub of the issue, Rob. It's not about, you know, the fake crocodile tears of oxygen thieves like Kimmel on his show. The real problem is this. Since Charlie was murdered, a friend of mine assassinated, nothing's changed on their side. No. Not one leader, not one left-wing thought leader, member of Congress, senator, nobody has said, we distance ourselves from the violent rhetoric. We jettison the voices such as Maxine Waters or Joe Biden, who talked about using violence against your political opponents. We totally excoriate them and we remove them from our political environment. They haven't done anything, and Charlie's dead, and Erica's a widow, and those children will grow up without a father. The left refuses to rid themselves of the justification for violence, and as such, President Trump is taking measures to protect us from the violent rhetoric that becomes snipers and bullets.
And obviously the left is aware of the liability that this is politically, and the media is aware of this monster that they've created, and this army of psychos that are just arming themselves now to take out these fascists and these Nazis that they've been called for the last several years. So they're all playing dumb and acting like they don't see that it's one-sided, and it's amazing to see them try and push away the liability of this thing away from their politics. I want to get to one more thing before I let you go, just because I read this story and I couldn't believe it, and it's a hat tip to our federal authorities in Washington. This was a joint U.S.-Mexican operation last month where they tracked down a criminal cartel leader accused of some of the most gruesome things I've ever heard in an infant trafficking ring in northern Mexico. Martha Alicia Mendez Aguilar, known as La Diabla, the Devil, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. They were luring pregnant women in Mexico into remote areas. They would tie them down, perform C-sections, take the babies out of them, sell the babies for $14,000 into illicit trafficking markets. God only knows what happens to these babies. They harvest the organs from the mother, and then they kill the mother. This is what this woman did. She's been captured. I can't think of a worse enough punishment for that. I don't even know what I would do if I had my hands on her, but what an unbelievable catch for our government in coordination with the Mexican government.
I thank you, Rob, for mentioning this. This is when you realize the severity of what open borders meant under the Biden-Harris regime. 300 million children led into this country for exploitation purposes. That horrific story. I just want to recognize our federal law enforcement, our intelligence community analysts, and the authorities of Mexico, starting with the president and the Minister for Public Safety, Mr. Harfuch. Together, we will rid our hemisphere of these bloodthirsty, evil individuals who are threatening the peoples of both our countries.
Yeah, well said. Sebastian Gorka from the White House. Sir, thank you. We appreciate it.
God bless. Thank you, Rob.
You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmidt tonight on Newsmax.